Hello, everyone, and good evening to the 7 p.m. Spiritual Circle Gathering. And we meet every Thursday between the hours of 7 till 8 p.m. here on the East Coast and 4 till 5 p.m. on the West Coast. And I hope you all can hear me. Hope you all can hear me. Let me do this. And let me do this. Okay. Now I only have one screen up and I'll stay focused on that. Hello, everyone. This is lesson 12. This is lesson 12. We did it. Well, we almost did it because we have a test next week. So do not start jumping up and down yet. Okay? But I do want to say, in all sincerity, those of you that really were studying and were even on the line listening, I want to say to you, thank you. My energy goes out to you. Our energy goes out to the universe. My energy goes out to you and to the universe. I am grateful for the opportunity that I had to present this series. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and I am grateful that I had the tools and was willing to use the tools. Every week there were collateral readings, and there were times when the reading seemed the chapter seemed so repetitive, but it's like, okay, it's repetitive, but it began to sink in. The information really began to sink in. So I just want to say I got a lot out of it, and I want to thank you all very much for participating and attending. This evening this is the last chapter, chapter 12, the healing consciousness. So what I'll do is we'll get into the prayer, and then we'll move forward into this evening's lesson. As you know, this is the basic principles of science mind, and it is, for lack of a better term, sponsored by Spiritual Circle Gathering. Like I said, we meet every Thursday, and today's Tuesday, the 24th, 2017, and the telephone number, for the platform is 712-432-3066. The access code is 449278. Chapter 12, yay! The healing consciousness. I don't know what we're going to do next, but we know next week is the test, and the test is already posted. That's already posted. So what I'll do this week is post what we're going to talk about. I mean, if I don't receive any emails to say, well, I want to talk about this or we want to review that, then I'll just post something and it'll be a book and we'll review the book. Okay, we'll learn at least I'll learn something from the book, and hopefully with your questions, then I'll learn something from you. So let's go now into our treatment prayer. And our treatment prayer for today is for what is this? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Divine love, source of all there is. Infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom. God, the good omnipotent, all powerful, all knowing, everywhere present. I am one with you. We are one with each other. I am enthusiastic, knowing that I am never alone, that everywhere I am, God is. I am grateful for this knowledge. I'm enthusiastic in knowing that God is all there is. I am one with God. God and I are one. There is no separation in mind, body, spirit, physics. There is no separation. No separation. I operate through the mind of God. My mind is God's mind right now. And this day, I declare enthusiasm. And I have a lot to be enthusiastic about. I had a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Spiritual teachers all over the place, teaching me lessons, allowing me to learn, giving me the opportunity to learn. I stand under the light of the enthusiasm. I stand under the light of love. I stand under the light, the warm, comforting light of enthusiastic love and energy from the One. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this tour that I have on this realm this time. And I hope to learn every conceivable lesson that is presented to me. So this will be my last time on this realm. And then once I make my transition, then I can rest in bliss in paradise. And in the very name, nature, and power, in the name of all there is, I am grateful to you, wise one, that you hear me now. Amen. Let us move forward. Our study guide and primary text, Basic Principles of the Science of Mind, by Dr. Frederick Beals, guide us towards the light of health, success, and peaceful living from one source, knowing that all of us strive for the same truth. He developed this workbook so that others can learn and understand the power of our mind and its potential. As I said earlier, this is not the last group. This is not the last meeting, gathering. Why is that? Because next week, the 31st, we're having a final exam. Oh yes. If you read the book all the way in the back, you'll see examination or something to that effect. All right? So there will be a review and examination. Unless I got the pages wrong, it's from pages 175 through 177. There are also some readings, some quotations from Bales. Very interesting, very, very meaty, M-E-A-T-Y, very meaty, very inspiring. So I hope that you will be here next week. The lesson for this evening is entitled The Healing Consciousness. The Healing Consciousness, and this is page 163 through page 174. And before I go any further, let me make sure that we are all plugged in. Plugged in. There. Yes. Plugged in. Just bear with me for a minute, because this will be one take and one take only. I will not come back and do this again this evening. So having that said, let us move forward. We're in divine order. And I am enthusiastic about that. What are the goals? What are the goals? What are the goals of this chapter? To understand what healing consciousness is, how to prepare the mind to become one with God, and the mental foundation requirements. There are requirements mentally. Put our head in the game, for lack of a better term, when it comes down to giving a healing treatment. This needs to be set up and online. So we don't just up and start doing a treatment. You don't just up and start doing it. Nope. The healing consciousness must be in place, and we've had 11 lessons, have primed the pump, and have given us examples of who, what, when, where, and why about consciousness, the mind, breathing, you name it. We know what is going on here. All right. All right. So just let us begin. Now, I'm going to have to come back to question number 1 because I don't have the answer. However, you feel free to plug in if you have the answer to number 1. Actually, you feel free to plug in and just go for it this evening. Do not be disruptive. Okay, we run a very organized ship here. Okay, so you can plug in, just be organized. All right. Number 2, in clearing the pathway for the development of a high consciousness, what are some of the attitudes that must be removed from the thought? What are some of the attitudes that must be removed from thought, according to page 165 and 166, Basic Principles of the Science of Mind? High consciousness is a state of mind partaking of the qualities of spirit. Therefore, one is to develop it. Certain attitudes must be removed from the thought life, such as no hostilities, enviousness, jealousy, hatred, resentment, certain kinds of fear. We're all on the path and pathway to individual freedom. And those that seem cruel or wicked are only blind. If and or when they see the realities of life, they would cease to be cruel or cease to be selfish. Therefore, they are to be pitied, not stifled or suppressed. And they are a very good exercise. That is a very good exercise for us, because we ought to learn to look beyond the physical and to see the spirit in that person. Okay. So when the student is ready, Mavis says, when the student is ready, no, when the teacher is ready, then the student is a parent. A parent, A-P-P-A-R-E-N-T. Or when the teacher is ready, the student is a parent. So in other words, we are not on a high horse. We don't have the big head. We don't have grandiosity. It's just that when we see someone that is not acting or that is acting out of character, then we don't see them as, oh my God, who is this person? Who do they think they are? Are they talking to me like this? No, no. You see the God in that person. The God is there. And our job is to see it, to recognize it, and to Namaste, I behold the Christ in you. Okay. That is the training. Yeah, we say Namaste, I behold the Christ in you, but do we really behold it? That is the work. No self-pity. We're still on number 2. No self-pity. Pity is a hindrance. It reveals that the person has not yet realized that he or she alone draws into experience. The dominant thoughts are in the deeper mind. So number 2, no negative discussion. The infinite only sees that which it already is. We would benefit highly by not discussing what seems to be the frailties of others. And in doing so, will assist in the process of transcendence. And we will get to transcendence in a minute. Quote, everything hidden is being uncovered. Right action is emerging of what appears to be wrong action. Although humans may err, the infinite never errs. Number 3, understand that a high state of consciousness involves transcendence. What is transcendence? I love that word, transcendence. Transcend. To transcend. What does that word mean? What is transcendence? Growing and changing. People are in our life for reasons or seasons. Divine existence, wholeness, greatness. How does a person reach or develop a belief that it is possible to transcend? An example is outgrowing people you at one time had something in common with. Like, say, for example, drinking. You have nothing more in common with the principles that are attached to a lifestyle of excessive drinking. And its accompanied problems. You have nothing more in common with the qualities and principles of drinking excessively. So you have developed a level of spiritual awareness or a high state of consciousness that will never fit into the lifestyle that you have developed as a result of rising above that where you were at one time. Hence, you have transcended. Nothing more in common, you have transcended. This example also applies to transcending from people, places, things, and situations. Simplified example. That was as simple as I could make it. Our aim or goal is to rise above hostilities, enviousness, jealousy, hatred, resentment, certain kinds of fear. To rise above the dominant thoughts of self-pity that is, as I said earlier, buried in the deeper mind, reaching a level of awareness, consciousness, to rise above holding a grudge, wanting to get even or to have retribution and negative discussion. Regarding wanting to get even, there's a well-known speaker. His name is Les Brown. Les Brown is a motivational speaker. And Les Brown, among many of his wonderful motivational speeches, he said something that I keep to heart. He says the best revenge in the world, this is regarding those who want to get even, the best revenge in the world is massive success. You be about the business of making your vision a reality. You will not have the time to think about what someone else is thinking of you or saying of you or what someone has done to you. Why? Because you will be about the business of making your life, your vision, your dream a success by engaging in massive energy, massive enthusiasm, so you can have massive success. To be the flourishing, we will be able to be the flourishing beings that we are put here on this earth, on this realm, to be. Two thoughts cannot occupy the same space. So we cannot think positive thoughts and think of, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that person. Not worth it. Not worth it. You cannot serve two masters. You complete the task that is before you. This is transcendence. Transcendence is to rise above. I posted an affirmation. Those of you that can see on the Google, there's an affirmation. It's rather long, and it reads, there is a power and presence in me that transcends the consciousness of the old belief, being that I am not good enough or that I am unworthy. I am more than enough. I am as expression of God. And since God only makes that which is good, that means I am good. Okay? You play this over and over again, because we are made in the image and likeness, and God is all good. That means that we are good. Number 4, excuse me. In proportion to what does man's consciousness rise? In proportion to what does man's consciousness rise? Well, the proportion is of belief. Belief in his or her higher power. Belief in his or her own potential. Belief in his or her own willingness to rise above their perceived fear and perceived limitation. Belief that he or she deserves all that life has to offer, and his or her ability to live a purpose-driven life. Number 5. What are some steps in building a high consciousness? Well, the first one is recognition. Recognition of inward pressure of the infinite on us. The infinite on us is an inward compulsion. Inward pressure, and it's inward compulsion, inward pressure of the infinite that is on us. Every higher aspiration, goal, noble impulse, or desire for a higher level of understanding is clear evidence of the inner thrust of the infinite or God outward. Next, willingness to cooperate. We must have a willingness to cooperate, period. A willingness to respond and to cooperate with the infinite. There is such a thing as a co-pilot, a co-author. So we have a co-operator. So God is the operator. God operates. Therefore, I am the cooperator, because we cooperate with the infinite. We cooperate with God. In this process of cooperating, this process of growth, development, and enlargement. Enlargement is another word for transcending. The image of perfection is always held deep within by the knower within. Knower, the knower within. The knower, the all-knowing presence, deep consciousness knows everything. Everything. Just pick a subject, any subject, and I can guarantee that the all-knowing, everywhere present knows the answer to that subject. We will know the answer to it as well when we co-operate by becoming still, taking some deep breaths, learning to listen, meditate in your own way. Some people meditate by exercising. Some people meditate by writing, journaling, painting, gardening, whatever works. Watching sports, whatever works. Okay, so the image of perfection is always held deep within by the knower within. Okay? When you have a question, come in. A growing awareness of unity. There is nothing but the infinite, also known as God, in the universe. Nothing else. Oh yes, there's stars, and there's comets, and there are meteorites, and there are other galaxies. Some would even say the wormhole. But the intelligence, God, the infinite wisdom, wise one, is in the universe. A belief in duality, such as God and the devil, D apostrophe, E-V-I-L, that's the way I spell it. I refuse to give it breath and life. D apostrophe, E-V-I-L. So, for example, say the devil made me do it. Everything in the universe is of God. Every belief in duality must be wiped out and replaced by a belief in unity. Now, you see, somewhere along the line in the beginning, I guess the word devil, it may not have had a meaning of, it may have had just a flat meaning, but somewhere over the centuries, life had this devil character, this entity, well, not even an entity, this concept of devil has been given a pulse, blood, it's been given a skeleton, it's been given a heartbeat, it's been given a brain, it's been given the ability to think. So it's just my personal bias. It's just my personal bias. I don't believe in duality. There's only one power. And it's harmony, and it's goodness, and it's purity. And I don't believe in, I ought not sit here and thrust my belief system on you. It's just that I cannot serve two. It's all I can do to serve one, and it's not easy. I have my days, but I try. All right. The universe is of God. Every belief in duality must be wiped out and replaced by a belief in unity. There is no other. There is no quote, unquote, otherness. There is no ugly. There is no inharmoniousness. There is no wretchedness. God is of purer eyes, P-U-R-E-R eyes, than to behold evil. All that God has made is very, very good. Although negative experiences may seem real, they are not the ultimate reality. One ultimate reality, and that is God. Rising in thought. Remaining our thinking in alignment, keeping our thinking in alignment with original intelligence. That goes with the question of what are some steps in building a high consciousness. Okay. And as I was saying, rising in thought, remaining remaining our thinking in alignment with originating intelligence. Our purpose is to raise our level of thinking. It is the beacon, B-E-A-C-O-N. A beacon is a guiding light. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, we're out in the middle of the ocean. And if it's nighttime, the only lights that you're going to see out there while you're in the middle of on a vessel in the middle of the ocean, besides the stars and the moon, are lights from other vessels. On the shore, there is a tall tower, and that tower has a light that revolves. It revolves, and it's a 360-degree light, and its job is to shine light no matter what direction a vessel is, no matter what longitude, what latitude, whatever. That light will be seen by a vessel no matter where they are in the sea. So the objective of that light in the tower is so that vessel will be able to know that land is over there where that tower is. So our thinking is to be the beacon or a guiding light of perfect thinking. Some would say, well, we're not perfect. I disagree. I was raised to believe that I'm not perfect and that I am not worthy. And, I'm not. The bottom line is, again, I'm back to the duality theme. I am made in the image and likeness. I am worthy. I am healthy, whole, and complete. I'm not a wretched. And so, because I believe this, and I believe that it's perfect thinking, then those of us that are in that vein of thinking, then we are the light of the world. We cannot be the light of the world by thinking that we're less than. That is a belief in duality. That is being an example of duality. Now, I'm not telling anybody how to think. You think whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. No, I'm not trying to be grandiose. No, this is not being grandiose. I serve and acknowledge a God that is so vast, so infinite, so profound, so good, and I realize that I am one with it. There is no way I'm going to sit here and say that I'm less than. But that's just my belief system. So, having that said, I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. And our job is to be the light and example, to shine the light for others so they can find their way. We have a lot of lost souls out here today. I don't even watch the news anymore. There's a lot of lost souls. So my job, my mission, my goal is to keep myself and read spiritual material, watch motivational speakers on YouTube, and there are some on Facebook. There's one in particular on Facebook, and there are oodles of spiritual teachers on YouTube, and a few of my own personal spiritual teachers. So, I stay what they call prayed up. Prayed up. My whole armor. Yes. So we are the example. We do not grovel. If we grovel in our own perception of weakness and resentments, our thoughts are far below the resistless beam of God's perfection. So now, if you believe that God is perfect, and if you believe that the light of God is within you, I say this every week, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Every week I say it, I end it out. So the beam of the light of God will allow us, if we let it, to transcend from one level to the next level. And the goal is to transcend. We don't get comfortable on one level. No. We don't get comfortable. We enjoy that phase, but we look up and we're trying to, we're aim for another level. Okay? That is the goal. To reach, to transcend, to be motivated, to try. Number six. How does spirit view the universe? Not does spirit view the universe. How? Spirit sees no distortion, no inharmonies, no inharmonies. It's not in harmony. Spirit does not see any inharmony. Okay, everything is in sync. Everything is in alignment. There's no lack. There's no limitation. Spiritual consciousness aligns itself with spirit views of the universe. God only sees beauty of wholeness. God is whole, W-H-O-L-E. What else would God see? God is whatever you can think of that is of God, then that is what God sees in us. I realize that is a very profound, awing statement, but when you really think about it, God, we are an expression of God. And when we are living up to our potential, when we are, no matter what the stronghold is, we're moving past that. And no matter what perceived stronghold, no matter what it is, we allow ourselves to move forward. And that is the graciousness and the goodness of our higher power. That we move forward and that we only see the beauty of our wholeness, because that is what our higher power sees in us. So to make, I'll put it in very layman's terms. For me to make God happy, then I'm to live up to my highest potential. That would make God happy. That would put us, if I was going to put God in the physical, that would put a smile on God's face and joy in God's heart. Living up to my potential. Because I am potential with a capital P. We all are, quite frankly. We're all a work in progress, and we're all divine potential. Spirit sees balance and equilibrium. The practitioner has the ability to deny what seems most real to the eye and to penetrate deeper into the heart of the matter, which is the unchanging, unfailing. Are there any questions so far? Let me look over here. No questions? None? This is the last one, ladies and gentlemen, before next week. Surely you must have one question. Nothing? Study the books for a minute. I'm sure you will have a question. Take your time. We have 5 more questions. And an affirmation. And then we'll be ready for the test for next week. I gotta say, I had a wonderful day and a wonderful week. What made it wonderful? Studying. A lot of reading. I must say one thing. I've been spending more time reading anything. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm watching TV. I haven't watched any of the haves and the have-nots. They're all on DVD, so I'm waiting until for the next 18 minutes. I'm honest. Okay, so we'll move on. No questions? All righty then. Let's move on to the next one. Move on to our journey. What do we mean by spiritual thinking? Basic Principles of Science of Mind, page 170. Spiritual thinkers see things in perspective. Spirit sees no obstruction or delay. Man becomes a spiritual thinker when he aligns his thinking with his attitude. They know that a man's world is his inner world of ideas, caught up in the false realities of the material. Thinkers are human in their physical appetites and feelings, but they must invest even these feelings, but they must even these with the deeper beauty of the spiritual, enhancing their pleasures without ever being entrapped or enslaved by them. So in other words, yes, you can have your feelings, yes, you can have your desires, but don't be entrapped by them. Okay, don't be entrapped by them. Don't be enslaved by feelings. Don't be obsessive. Don't be obsessive. Say what you mean what you say. Don't say it mean, and keep it moving. Let's move on to the next one. Number 8. I haven't forgotten about number 1. Number 8. How does the attitude of the unspiritually minded person that of the spirit in regards to completion of desires? Let me read it again. How does the attitude of the unspiritually minded person, how does that attitude differ from that of the spirit in regards to completion of desires? What I have is the attitude of the spiritual thinker is that they see no real power, no real valid ground for the existence of trouble. There is no place for the existence of trouble. trouble. The chief aspect of this spiritual view of life is everything is kept in its proper place and nothing assumes undue proportions. Unspiritually minded, or earthly thinker is thinking of all the reasons why a desire cannot come true. A spiritual thinker is assembling and gathering all of the reasons why what they want can come true. A spiritually minded thinker is assembling and gathering all of the reasons why it can come true. Spiritually minded, grounded in belief, knows that the obedient servant, God, the source of all there is making whatever they want, providing if it's in your best interest. Now, if you want something that doesn't belong to you, I think I mentioned this 4 or 5 lessons ago. If you want something that doesn't belong to you, money that doesn't belong to you, a person that's already attached, something that doesn't belong to you, if it's not in your best interest, you might get it, but then you'll find out that it's not for you. But overall, it is Spirit's good pleasure to give you the keys to the kingdom. Okay? Number 9. What are the respective places of spirit and of mind in the creative process? Spirit leads all process, developing, evolving to infinite. What is infinite? Infinite is endless, immeasurable, boundless, never-ending. Mind, God, is immeasurable, endless, boundless, never-ending. There's no beginning, there's no end. All-encompassing. Mind is the working side of the Trinity. Mind does the work, such as let there be, and it is so. So mind sees the end from the beginning. We see the situation from the beginning. But mind sees the end, and it sees it from the beginning. We only see the beginning. But hopefully, while we're learning our process of transcending, we too will learn to see the end from the beginning. What does that mean? That means you see your success, and you see how it's going to happen. You see the part that you need to play in making it happen. So, in other words, making a long story short, I am the what do I want. God is the how it's going to happen. I'm the what, we're the what, God is the how. Okay? God is there, let there be, and it is so. We have 11 minutes. That which we ask for, we already have it through the medium or the agent of mind. The diagram on page, if you have the book, Basic Principles of Science of Mind by Frederick Bales, there are 3 diagrams actually, but I have 2. The first one I have is the triune. I call it a triune. It's the first time I ever called it triune. Anyway, spirit, mind, body. In the spirit circle, we have originating intelligence, first cause. This is the thought. What is it do I want? The obedient servant, which is the mind and the loom, the knower, it accepts my instructions. Whatever it is I say I'm doing. It is, I'll give you an example. It even said it, forgot which book it was, but let's just say, for example, someone has obsessive compulsive behavior. They think about the same thing over and over and over again. They keep doing, engaging in behavior which is self-sabotaging. All right. So my mind, thank God I don't, but I just use myself as an example. Once upon a time, I engaged in a lot of self-sabotaging, obsessive compulsive behavior that landed me in landed me to hit bottom. Now, all while I was engaged in that behavior for like 15 years. So my mind kept making a copy and handing it to the obedient servant. And just handing it to the obedient servant day after hour, day after day, week after week, year after year. But the obedient servant, it was paying attention, even though it was the same instructions over and over again. It was paying attention until I finally hit bottom. And so a different set of instructions showed up. Hit bottom. Okay. Hit bottom. Want help. Okay. Want help. Okay. So when the set of instructions came, want help, then that's when the ball got rolling for me to obtain the help that I needed, so I will be able to transcend from where I was for 15 years of my life, squandering my life away, learning experiences, wandering around in the wilderness, trying to find my promised land. And so the obedient servant, okay, it stopped the automatic phase, and then it went into, okay, this is what you want. So then it began to, this is what you want, so this is how it's going to get done. So what I wanted was to have a clean slate of life. What I wanted was to turn my life around. What I wanted was clean time. The obedient servant, okay, this is how it's going to get done. So what I'm saying is I turned everything over. It couldn't have gotten any, it could always get worse, but it couldn't have gotten any worse. So I said, okay, and I just turned it over. So spirit in me, originating intelligence, somewhere in the crevice of my mind, I hit bottom. Then the mind, the knower, the law, the medium, okay, this is the new set of rules. And then the primary unformed substance or the effect was sobriety. There's no obstruction or delays. Man becomes a spiritual thinker when he aligns his thinking with his attitude. Page 171. When a desire is born, every channel is immediately opened for its fulfillment. The only thing that can close this channel is our belief and delay. Belief. Claude Bristol, which was one of our collateral readings, maybe chapter 1 or 2, the magic of belief, the magic of believing. Belief is a key that will turn a lock. Belief. Firm, unabashed, unashamed. Number 9, 5 minutes. Number 9, how can I develop a consciousness of omnipotence? First of all, omni, O-M-N-I, I means grand and magnificent. Potent, P-O-T-E-N, means strong, powerful, and mighty. So for me, thinking of icons, I use my imagination, so don't laugh. For me, it's thinking of icons that I can conceptualize, such as Superman, the Transformers, Artemis Prime, King Kong, in the ground to prepare the holding up of a skyscraper. I don't know if any of you ever seen a skyscraper in its early stages of development. The hole is so deep, the hole is at least 20 feet deep, maybe more, to hold the spikes that it takes to hold the foundation of the first floor. Because the foundation of anything is paramount. Relationships, money, foundation. So for me, seeing a skyscraper being built from the ground up, to me, is omnipotent, is strong, is strength. So for me, by thinking along the lines, help me to place on some level of perspective of the grandiosity of God, the good, omnipotent. If one does not progress as fast as he would like, what attitude should he take? Know that there is no timeline with God. Continue striving. Replace all doubt with courage and faith. Courage and faith in the all-knowing, everywhere present, all-powerful, omnipotent God. Let me go back to number 1 before I give you what we have to look for next week. I know this is 12. Some of us are coming back. What are some definite statements you can make about consciousness? I didn't answer it, but a definite statement that I can make about consciousness is it's about awareness. It's about putting anything here. All right. It is about elevating. When I see, it's about elevation. It's about elevating my conscious. It's about when I see something that impresses me, that this is what I want. It's like if I see a speaker or someone that I'm impressed with, and I say, well, I may not want to be like that person per se, in as much as I admire the qualities of that person. And I would like to learn how to obtain and to improve the type and qualities of that person. So that is what I have to say about consciousness. To improve my consciousness and to improve my level of awareness, it takes maybe reading. It takes maybe going outside of my comfort zone. It takes saying some examples, role models. So that is some definite statements I can say about consciousness. Going back to, are there any questions or anything before I come on? You guys are killing me. I know you're there. You're killing me. All right. This day, do I have anything for next week? Our collateral reading for today's lesson was Frederick Bale's Your Mind Can Heal You, chapter 7 and 10. Urban Seal, 10 Words That Will Change Your Life. Edith Armstrong, Help Yourself. And from the desk of Ernest S. Holmes, Mind Remakes Your World, which is true. Please note, August 31st, there will be a review and an examination. Make definite call to action. Make definite progress cultivating the healing consciousness. I'm going to close out with a prayer. This day, I face toward the dawn of the infinite healing presence. This day, I face toward the dawn, the beginning of a new day of the infinite healing presence. It has no beginning, it has no ending. All it requires, all God requires of me is belief. Belief in God's ability to heal, transform, and restore. And I am a believer, a walking, talking miracle of God's restoration, resurrection, refurbishing power of God. And I thank you, God. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the very presence of God watches over us. This is so, and so it is. Thank you all very much for a wonderful 12 weeks. And thank you for your patience. Bye.